Libby entrusted Maddie to her best friend, Angela. Libby asked Angela to adopt Maddie. She assured Angela that she would transfer the insurance policy funds under Maddie's name. Angela said it wasn't about the money, but Libby begged her. In the end, Angela agreed. Libby spoke to Maddie and asked him to stay with Angela. She promised him that one day they would be together again.
And I know you're going to be a good boy, right?
Yes, Mommy.
On her first day in prison, Libby was struggling to adjust. She hadn't slept at all the night before. When the alarm went off, signaling wake-up time for the inmates, it was clear Libby was already being watched by the others. That morning, she was greeted with taunts and intimidation from two fellow inmates. They even placed a bet, saying Libby would last 6 months.
Deal. Get away from me.
Hey, take it easy. We're your new best friends.
Heard you did your husband. Probably deserved it.
Mind you.
As time passed, Angela and Maddie came to visit Libby in prison. Libby looked genuinely excited. Her face lit up with joy as she saw Maddie, her child, standing in front of her, separated only by the glass. Time kept passing. Libby's heart grew more and more uneasy. Angela hadn't visited her in prison for a long time. She didn't even call. Libby became increasingly anxious, having no idea what was happening with Maddie. The constant worry kept her up every night. Her mind was consumed with thoughts of her son, until finally, all she could do was cry. The next day, out in the prison yard, Libby was approached by the two inmates who had previously mocked her. Strangely, their demeanor had changed. Apparently, they had caught on to Libby's growing distress. One of them asked what was going on. Libby explained that her best friend had completely cut off contact, and she had no way of reaching Maddie, her child. The white inmate scoffed and said, "Oh, honey, if people could disappear that easily, I wouldn't be stuck in here." She gave Libby a hard look and added, "Use your brain. Figure out what's going on. I bet you have a way to track them down." Libby called Angela's former workplace, pretending to be her. She asked why the severance check never came, and then verified the address. The staff read it aloud, and Libby quickly wrote it down. She then called the number linked to that address. Angela answered, clearly shocked and panicked. She said, "Libby, I've been trying to reach you, but I couldn't get through." Libby, angry, confronted her. "Why did you move without telling me?" Angela tried to change the subject. "We'll come visit you next week, with Maddie." Frustrated, Libby demanded to speak to Maddie. Finally, she heard her son's voice again. But as she asked how he was, suddenly another voice appeared. Nick's. Maddie called out, "Dad!" Stunned, Libby called out, "Nick!" But Nick quickly hung up the phone. Panicking, Libby tried to call back, but it was no use. In a state of confusion, she walked away from the phone, unable to believe what had just happened.